How to help Gen Z show up like pros. Let me warn you, I don't think you're gonna like my answer. Gen Z, they're the newest generation to enter the workforce. These are your team members that are under the age of 28-ish, and they get a lot of bad press. But spoiler alert, each generation as they entered the workforce got bad press. Boomers thought Gen X was lazy. Gen X thought millennials were entitled. Are we surprised Gen Z is painted as lazy and entitled? We shouldn't be. Okay, but you still want your newest generation of workers you hire to be professional. You want them to be productive at work. So how do you help them? According to my not super thorough research online, this is a group of workers that have grown up with the internet and technology. They want purpose to their work, not just a paycheck. According to research, they are more mental health focused than previous generations, and they have short attention spans, preferring short form and interactive content. So how should your approach in helping them be different than your approach to workers from other generations? It shouldn't. I don't think you have to treat Gen Zers different from anyone else. At my tax firm, we've hired and employed hundreds of Gen Zers. I've seen that as a group, they should not be labeled as lazy or entitled. Now, of course, we've found some to be lazy and entitled, but we've also found Gen Xers and millennials to have some that are lazy or entitled. We've found that while everyone is saying Gen Zers prefer purpose to their work, I can tell you everyone prefers purpose to their work. And while others say Gen Zers prefer purpose over their work so much that pay isn't as important, I can tell you 200% that is wrong. Gen Zers and everyone else still wants to feel their pay is fair for their efforts. Golden handcuffs may not work on Gen Zers like on previous generations, but they still want to make money. And I'm not saying golden handcuffs is a good idea. I actually hate labels. I'm a religious, straight, white male, which in my opinion feels as vanilla and basic as they come. Yet there are groups of people out there, because of those labels, they would say, I'm hateful and dangerous. My approach at work is to simply label or group people based on job positions. So regardless of what generation they are from, we approach training everyone the same way. It's possible the way you help all your workers isn't working, in which case, let me give you some guiding principles to help anyone, including Gen Zers, in your business. So if you aren't sure if your current approach is helping or hurting, you can take our quick business efficiency assessment. It'll show you exactly where your systems might be falling short, and more importantly, what small changes you could make for better results. The first one is to define what professional is for your organization. You want Gen Zers and everyone to act professional. Well, that word is too vague. So define it for your team. At my tax firm, we like being professionally unprofessional. I know many firms demand business casual as the minimum dress code, for example. I've never been a fan of the myth that if you dress the part, you'll eventually become the part. And I've met too many fake people that look nice and shiny, but inside, a little rotten to their core. And I've met a lot of idiots in my day that were dressed up in a suit and tie. I see a lot of douchebags that dress to impress as well, but all they do is lie and try to manipulate you. So what does professional look like for you and your organization? It isn't just about attire, it's about how you communicate. You've interacted with some professional firms that want to make sure you know that they are super smart. So they use big words, technical words, higher educated words. Or when it comes to communication, are you more like the Eli 5 method? Explain it like I'm 5. Do you want people to actually understand what you're saying? If you want Gen Zers or other workers to show up like pros, you have to define for them what that looks like. You also need to teach the rules of the game, specifically how that game is played in your business. Never assume they know. And if you told them once, don't assume they'll remember. The rules of your game have to be shared and taught over and over again. What is the tone you want to be used in email? How do you want to handle upset clients? When should you Slack something you need versus when should you use email? How do they know if they're winning with their role? What are the processes they should learn? Teach, revisit, test them on it, reteach it, have them teach it to new team members. That is something that should be done always. They say Gen Z is more mindful of mental health than other generations. Even if that is true, all your team members will appreciate a workplace that helps them stay resilient while avoiding burnout. So Implementing the 3.3 rule in your organization is the simplest way to help everyone take proper breaks so they can be the most productive when they're working. If you want to see how your current systems are supporting or sabotaging your team's efficiency, you can take our free business efficiency assessment. In a little more than 5 minutes, you'll uncover where your systems are strained, stressed, or streamlined. Gen Z, like everyone else, cares deeply about growth. They want to do a good job. So when they need feedback, coach them. Be direct but kind. Hey, when you missed that client deadline, here's what happened downstream. I know you can do better. Let's figure out how. My experience with Gen Z is they are not anti-work, they are anti-BS. But guess what? Everyone appreciates less BS in their lives. To help them, just like everyone else, help them understand the standards. Train them on the things you think are obvious and coach them with clarity and respect. And remember, take breaks, go faster.